My 25 male little sister, 19, started dating a guy named Eric, 20 male, in January. She was really excited as this was her first relationship, and I was, of course, very happy for her. However, I noticed some red flags in Eric, albeit not major ones. I won't go into detail about these. Recently, I was invited to dinner with my family and Eric's family at a fancy Italian restaurant. Usually, my sister can eat an entire plate of pasta by herself, which is appropriate for one person. When her dish arrived, her boyfriend said something like, "You gonna eat all that by yourself?" To which my sister responded, "Yes," with a smile. I was relieved. However, this colossal idiot then said, "Let me finish the rest for you. Girls shouldn't eat so much." I was furious at this point. Just let her eat. Also, this was in front of the family. I gave him a death stare, which he didn't interpret very well. Right after that, he said, "Girls should only have fat in two places," and looked at me as if I would laugh in agreement. I was so confused as to how someone could be this dense. Who says this in front of their own family and their girlfriend's family? Who even says this at all? My sister was visibly embarrassed and uncomfortable. My parents were also shocked at what he had just said, but didn't say anything. I could see my sister tearing up, and she put her fork down in a dejected manner. I couldn't take it anymore and yelled, "Screw you," to him rather loudly, but not so loud that everyone could hear. I never say profanities in front of my parents, let alone yell. But Eric was getting on my last nerve, and I just couldn't let my sister take all the crap that douchebag was saying. I just left the dinner table, which ended the whole thing. He later called me an idiot, saying I shouldn't have embarrassed him in front of his family, and that I was being a stereotypical, overprotective older brother. I think I was just being a decent brother who sticks up for his siblings. Besides, he embarrassed my sister with his disgusting and unwarranted comments. Personally, I'm sad that my sister didn't have the guts to stand up to this idiot, and that I was the one who had to do it. I had a chat about this with her and explained to her that she shouldn't have to put up with crap like this from anyone. Perhaps I could have reacted more eloquently, but am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but you should have walked up to him and told him to his ear instead of adding to an already embarrassing situation. He is an arrogant idiot. That's what he is. How dare he blame you for embarrassing him while he's the one who was embarrassing your sister? Please talk to your sister and let her know that this is abnormal behavior and, frankly, quite a red flag. I disagree. You should have said it louder. If he doesn't feel embarrassed saying cringe things at full volume, he should hear things said back to him in kind. And I believe the more you embarrass people like him, the more they learn their lesson. I would have embarrassed him without cussing at him, maybe deadpan asking him, "What do you mean by that?" and watched him scramble for words. Then if he had said something, my reaction would have been, "Good boys should look at what's on their plate and not get greedy about others' plates. Bad boys don't get treats." Basically, it's insinuating that you're calling him a dog. He would have been clueless enough to get the insult, and you would still have been the hero. However, that aside, not the idiot, but be careful that he doesn't use your insults of him to drive a wedge between you and your sister. You don't need to be witty. Even just saying, "Yikes, that's wildly inappropriate," would get the point across without letting the other person try to claim the high ground because you swore at them. Good job standing up for your sister, genuinely, but there would have been better ways to do it. I just want to start by saying that I, 24 female, love my baby sister more than anything in the world. I drive a 3-row car because it fits her and my other siblings, male tween and female pre-tween, and some of their friends. My fiance and I watch the kids after school every day, and they spend the night with us 2 to 4 days a week. My fiance is great with the kids, and they adore him. My fiance proposed 6 months ago, and when we told the kids, the older two were excited, but Evie, the kindergartner, was furious. She started crying and hitting me because she wanted to marry him, and if I married him, she couldn't. She refused to speak to me for almost a week, and now she's mostly okay. But she gets mad at me and starts crying and hitting me anytime she sees me kiss him. She was supposed to be our flower girl, but I don't really think she'll be able to sit through the wedding without some kind of outburst. So I called our dad, told him about all of this, and said that she wouldn't be allowed to attend the wedding unless she started to see a therapist before the wedding. The wedding's in September, so he has a couple of months to get her in therapy. He says she doesn't need therapy. She's just young with a crush on my fiance. I'm overreacting and she won't forgive me if I exclude her from the wedding. Am I the idiot for banning her unless he gets her therapy? Edit. We've tried everything. We've talked about her behavior and feelings, that what she's doing isn't acceptable, and that my fiance will still be in her life, but nothing has helped. She goes to timeout right when she starts hitting and kicking. She loses toys. She leaves outings early, and my fiance refuses to play with her after because he doesn't play with anyone who hits. This is not normal kindergartner behavior. There's nothing else we can do. Last night she pushed me, and I cracked my head on our bathtub. My fiance told my dad the only way we'll take the kids from now on is if we're their guardians. I legally can't be the person to get her into therapy since I'm not her guardian. We have different moms. Their mom doesn't seem to want anything to do with the kids if she can't get cute pictures for her Instagram. Dad has never been very involved. OP, I think she's hitting because she has so little control over her general situation. Mom and Dad aren't really involved, which is hard on her. She gets shuttled between you and her uninvolved parents, and she apparently sees your fiance as a father figure and sees you kissing him as a sign she's going to lose him too. She does need therapy, but clearly her bad dad isn't going to take her. Yeah, I feel bad for this little girl. She senses a loss of love, and therapy is needed. It is very important that your fiance tells her that he will not marry her. Even if he didn't marry you, he could also explain to her that he'll be her big brother and that he's looking forward to having her as a sister. He has to do that, not you. Naturally, a father who lets his adult daughter take 50% custody of his adolescent kids is going to dismiss behavioral issues where therapy is absolutely warranted. Not the idiot. Dig your heels in on this one. There's more at play here than this story, but regardless, you should not be enabling anything that might derail your wedding. In the meantime, educate yourself on parentification. It's good that your fiancé is all over your siblings and supportive of you, but this dynamic is sooner or later going to screw up your relationship with him if left to fester. My boyfriend, 28, and I, 24 female, have been together for a year and a half. I love him a lot, and he's been amazing. He's also the sort of person who has a lot of friends, and his close friends are pretty much family. He also loves to joke and play these harmless pranks on his friends, sometimes making me feel weird. Just for context, he has 2 female friends and 3 male friends. This is about my boyfriend and one of his friends, Claire, 28 female. Claire's a nice woman and we're friendly. My boyfriend has also never ignored me in favor of his friends or talked over me in front of them, which is why I don't understand if I'm in the right. They, my boyfriend's friends, had a recently escalated prank fight. I have made it clear to my boyfriend that I'm not good at jokes and I'm rather stiff, and he said he would keep me out of it. Claire, my boyfriend, and another friend, Kyle, 27 male, even had a huge throwing water balloons fight in Kyle's backyard. Then my boyfriend got pranked with dye in his body wash. Then Kyle got pranked by Claire, something about whipping cream and oven mitts. But the issue was when my boyfriend brought a red lacy lingerie set and he planned to put it in Claire's room the next time he went over. I said it was a tacky prank, and why would he buy lingerie? None of the previous pranks have been of this kind, making me really uncomfortable. I also felt that if I were Claire, I would feel gross. But my boyfriend got mad and defensive and told me that Claire is cool like that, and she would think it was funny. I admit, I get a bit weirded out when he calls Claire extremely beautiful and jokes about how she's always been way out of his league. But I thought it was nothing, and they were like family, so I guess it was their thing. However, the lingerie prank had me put my foot down, and I said that he was wrong to give another woman lingerie, no matter who she was, when he had a girlfriend. We fought, and I said I wanted to break up, but she didn't want to, and said that I was just overreacting. He said that I was too conservative and needed to open my mind when he had never given me a reason to be insecure. Claire called me and said that she and my boyfriend have been friends for a long time, and inside jokes are just that, and I'll learn with more age. I still feel weird about this. My best friend supports me no matter what I do, but I've started to feel like I am blowing this out of proportion. My boyfriend says that the fact that he told me and didn't hide it from me shows that I'm the problem. I have started to feel like I've blown this out of proportion, and maybe it's my fault I can't take a joke. I really feel awful about this whole thing. Am I the idiot? Edit. Apparently, it's an inside joke about how during their college days, she had some problems with the color red, and the lingerie would have just given her a shock of some kind, I guess. I told my boyfriend it was cruel, but he said it wasn't a trauma thing, just an inside joke. Claire also said over the phone that the lingerie thing was just an inside joke of their college days. In the best case scenario, you're not compatible with this guy. In the worst and more likely scenario, you're a stand-in for the Claire he can't have. Also, you don't need his permission or agreement to break up. It's not just about the prank, though. He calls Claire beautiful and says she's out of his league. What decent guy would say this about another woman to his girlfriend? Even if nothing is going on between them, it is so disrespectful to say this to your girlfriend, and a huge red flag in my eyes. So what? Is Claire out of his league, but OP isn't? If my boyfriend said this to me, I'd leave. It's an inside joke. You'll understand more with age. It's just the adult stuff, so you wouldn't get it. Wow, how condescending is Claire? The irony that some 28-year-olds in a childish prank war, holding on to college days, could tell someone only 4 years younger she'll learn with age is just laughable. I wonder if the boyfriend also looks down on OP. My ex-fiancé was gifted lingerie on Friendship Day by her male best friend. I was extremely uncomfortable. We later broke up, due to the fact it turns out he escalated it to intimacy at some point afterward. As a man, no man buys a woman underwear unless he wants to see her in it. You don't buy slinky lingerie as a joke gift. The prank war was just an excuse that gives him deniability because he's a coward. Sounds to me like you struck too close to the truth for his comfort, and he's shocked his perfect deniability plan didn't work. My birthday was yesterday, and my husband invited his best friend, Matt, and his best friend's pregnant girlfriend, Jane, out for a barbecue. They live 2 houses down from us. It was only us, our 3 children, and them here, and their 3 kids. I spent about $90 on hamburgers and hot dogs. Matt also showed up with 2 pounds of hamburgers. While the guys cooked, I went swimming with all 3 kids in our pond. Jane sat near the guys on her phone. Around 5:30-ish, the guys called the kids up for food. My middle child, Tween, and I weren't hungry yet, so we kept swimming. We spent a good 40-plus extra minutes in the pond on our tubes. I wasn't paying any attention to anything near the grill. Around 6:15-ish, my husband said he would make a store run for beer, so I told my son that we should probably go eat now. My husband and Matt are gone by the time we get up to the grill, and so is Jane. Well, we get up to the grill, and all the food is gone. Literally everything. I called my husband and asked him where all the food was, and he said that it should be on the grill. I tell him that everything is gone. There was a long pause before he went, Jane asked if she could take some for leftovers, but I didn't think she would take all of it. He then told me there were at least 8 burgers and 10 hot dogs left, as well as macaroni salad when he left for the store 10 minutes prior. I tell him to call Matt and see where the heck all the food is. He does. He calls me back, and then he tells me that Matt claims Jane only took a few and that they had already been eaten. But my oldest son, a young teen, tells me straight up that he saw Jane walk off our property carrying the entire dish, one of those extra-large tin-foil barbecue dishes. Anyway, I'm angry at this point. My son and I haven't eaten anything. My husband was also angry, but he grabbed something from the store for my son and me instead of making a huge fuss. I don't really blame him. He and Matt work together, so it is what it is. But anyway, much to my surprise, Jane and her kids returned 45 minutes later and asked if they could have some of my cake. I told Jane that her kids can, but she can't. She asked why, and I said, I'm pretty sure you've eaten plenty, considering you took off with my entire barbecue dinner before my son and I could eat anything. She tried arguing that my husband told her she could have it, that half of it was hers, because they bought 2 pounds of hamburger meat, and that she didn't realize that I and my kid hadn't eaten. She was beside the grill the entire time. I just shrugged my shoulders and walked away. She tells her kids to let's go, and they leave without cake. Now I'm feeling like I may be the idiot. No one has said anything, but I know there's tension. Not the idiot. If the party's still going on, there aren't leftovers yet. It's just food, especially since they were leaving to go get beer. Planning on drinking into the evening, let's definitely take all the food away so nobody can even attempt to soak up tomorrow's hangover. Who leaves a party with all the leftovers and then has the gall to return for more? Jane, obviously. She left on purpose to take the food home. She felt like it was theirs, and she still was hungry and didn't want to keep eating in front of everyone. That's a lot of food, and it's selfish not to leave anything for your host. Even if she brought 2 pounds of meat, she didn't bring the other food, so I can see taking your own leftovers home, but the entire party's? No, that's selfish. Walking off with the whole platter is a pretty idiot move. Jane didn't notice OP hadn't eaten because she was too busy scrolling on her cell phone and letting OP watch the kids. Who doesn't even engage with the hostess of a party before absconding with the food? Oh, the audacity of some people. Context. I, 35 female, have 2 kids, one being a young female teen and the other a male tween. My husband just took my son on a boys' trip to Michigan, and I just got promoted. My son had been wanting to go on the boys' trip for months, and my husband and I finally made plans for it. Once they left, I told my daughter, let's go to the mall. She got all excited, which made me excited, and we hopped in the car. We went to Bath & Body Works, and I got her a candle, and we went to American Eagle, and she wanted a pair of jeans and earrings, so I got them for her. Then lastly, we got Starbucks after I took her to Ulta to get her new mascara. I wanted to treat her since we couldn't go on a vacation. She was super happy and grateful. I wanted to use my promotion for good. Once the boys got home, my daughter was so excited to show her brother what she had, and he got so upset that she got all these cool things and he got nothing. My husband also said that I shouldn't have got her all these things, and it's not fair to my son. They had gone on a week-long vacation. I don't want my family to pick sides. Am I the idiot? And he got nothing? Well, if that isn't revealing of his nature, I don't know what is. True, he's 10 and is taking his cues from dad. But what better time to teach him to be appreciative of the wonderful things he has instead of being envious of the things someone else has? Also, he needs to be reminded. He just went on a father-son trip, and his attitude is completely inappropriate. You are not the idiot. Your husband, though, he's demonstrating some bad character traits for your son. If your husband keeps this up, I suggest you use family funds. Pack up your daughter and go on a girls' trip for a week. Do not consult with your husband. Book a nice hotel, someplace you and your daughter would enjoy, a city you think is interesting, a lake, the mountains, a beach, and go. Tell your husband he's welcome to buy some jeans for your son in your absence. Don't forget to get him earrings and mascara. Splurge a bit.